Doing its office hours with Neil, the media giant Haley, and Pat Riley. Pat, okay, so AI office hours. I'll keep saying that, but I was about to ask a question to one of your agents, and what did you tell me?
Oh, he's shut off right now. So he's not running at this moment. We'll get him going later, but I just I had a big focus this week because I just finished up one podcast with a an author. She's publishing in September, and she's working her book is going to be called Trust and Infrastructure, focused on AI, which and we had a great conversation about AI. I think it's about 57 minutes of a conversation.
Oh wow,
Never spoke to her before, so I had to prepare for that podcast. Plus, I have a podcast tomorrow morning with a guy who wrote The Venus Flytrap, which so the last week I've just been in my free time in the evening instead of working on my AI agents, I've been reading his book just so I can get ready for the podcast. Oof, it's a great book. I mean, it's a really good book. I like it a lot, but it's yeah, very sexual in nature. So
well, you told me the topic and you showed me the pictures. I'm like, okay, Pat, we're definitely going a
yeah,
different route. What
right.
and they all are in the military, right, Pat? And they
Well,
did
that's
sea
the thing is
stories.
that oh, the military guys will love it. So they'll be like, because he's a degenerate like most of my buddies, so I am too. What are we gonna do? But hey, it is what it is. But yeah, it's going to be a great conversation. I can't wait for that podcast to come out. So,
But see, that's funny where we're going and branching out, but that's okay. Because Pat, you got to do it because you love it, and the way you do it is building a brand. And wherever
yeah.
that brand goes, like I'm talking, clips are the biggest thing. And that's why you have me on board, is because you wouldn't have time to do all the clips that we do every week
Hmm.
and keep you going
Right.
because you're busy at Rocky's game. And they're probably like, "How is he posting all the time?" And he's busy working all the time. But
Neil,
that's
I that's why I have you, buddy, and I love you. Yes, you're helping me out tremendously, and
I'm
it's
hoping
awesome.
at some point in my whole AI thing, shout out to Dr. Mohammed, maybe Artilla is back in a way, as Dr. Mohammed is giving me access. Now it's no longer, it's going to be, it's more web based and you can do all these building agents. So I'll be trying Artilla's stuff pretty soon. I'll have to check that. That's office hours. But here's my biggest thing this week, guys,
Okay.
is I have about, I'd say 50 projects open with an AI agents where I have agents working on 50 different projects. You're like, oh my
Hmm.
gosh. And the biggest issues, one, I thought, okay, they give me a daily update. That has become the most idiotic thing in the world. And then one of them drafts an email to 32 things for anything that comes in my inbox. And I'm like, I look, 32 drafts, and this email just came in. So really controlling your agents is one of the first things. And
Yes.
I have them in a pretty good sandbox in a software as a service. I'm not going to bring up that software because it's an ancient Chinese secret. I'll tell Pat that, but
Hmm.
I'm not going to tell people my secret because my secret will change. Trust me, as we
Yeah.
talk about other software and I'll potentially use, and then I won't bring up that name again. Like, for example, Victor, I'm looking at that as a project manager, but I have to set up Slack, and then Victor will end up going in my Slack. And I talked to one client about it, and I think they need Victor because I can't manage them 24/7 if I work with all these clients. So I'm probably going to put Victor in the background there and see how
Sure.
it works. Would I set up 42 Slacks? I got to figure all that out. But that's the process. You figure out a solution, and then there's another problem. Don't tell me that's IT.
Yeah, that's IT. Yeah, yeah. That's why we keep our jobs for so many years. Yes,
Well, I've
that's
already
the way
figured
it
out if
works.
I can become more and more technical, I will
Hmm.
always be in demand. Always.
Yes. Isn't it great?
Always. It is. But the great thing is, I don't need to know code. That's the great thing. I just need to be able to think in a logical steps. But the thing I can beat
That's all it
IT
is.
people
That's IT.
is,
It's a logical thing. It's a process
yeah,
because
but you guys are, I would you say you're as good strategically, or the final, you can operate it, but strategically looking at the pros and cons and the process after it happens.
Mhm.
Like, this, what I'm seeing is a lot of this software is created in AI that, in my opinion, is not logically thinking about the user well because they don't
Mhm.
understand the user. What are your
That's why they
thoughts on
call it
that?
UX. You ever heard of UX?
UX
Yeah.
experience, meaning UX. It's user
User experience.
experience, but how many
Yeah.
are able to really figure out the user? But if we make software developers and control the world, there are going to be no real good salespeople, and there are not going to be a lot of people that are going to implement and look at be able to teach to the element that wants to use it.
Right.
That's where I'm seeing that. I thought this evolution is no more code, right? Claude doesn't even want you to write code anymore. They want you to use their platform to write code, meaning their developers. No more code. If there's no more code, then you think it's going to be easier for the average user. No, they've made it harder for the average user, even using ChatGPT. ChatGPT used to be you pick the model, you go. Now it's confusing, it's not easy, and they're incorrect. What's your thoughts on this, Pat? Why?
Yeah, and it's true to be a good technical person, like you just have to know logic. That's the big part. Going through a process flow and trying to figure out, okay, am I calling this command too soon, too late? When do I call it? Do I have the right information? But the strategical part of it, that's what, when you add that into the mix of an IT person, that puts you at a higher level, director level,
Your
VP
agency,
level.
you have a higher agency. You're not
Yes,
just able to figure it out logically. You can plan it, develop it. They're talking
yeah,
about one project management teams now with AI. So
yeah,
you only have one manager, one person on a team
mhm,
with all AI, the
yeah,
rest. So that
yeah,
person's not just going to be the software developer, the testing it. They're going to be doing everything with the AI
mhm,
instead. So they're going to have more higher agency skills than people you've hired that only can handle really just writing code all day, right? Or
right,
being able to test things and test bugs.
mhm,
That's not
sure.
truly society sometimes, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So if you have somebody that's out there that is a good strategical thinker, who's great at logic processing, who understands business, who can even sell, that person could be their one man wrecking crew to go out and just do whatever they want and kind of build their own organization and just have AI bots running everything for them.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. You're getting
And
there.
but also starting other businesses as well at that process. And I think that the nice thing about it is once you have an automation running, it feels great. Like my
Yep.
social media, for my agents they're doing a phenomenal job. I mean,
Yep.
social media, some of them are going viral just on static posts. I wish they could load videos up. I'm sure at one point they'll be able to do that, or there'll be another software that does
Yeah.
that. I've been using Opus Clip to do my clips now, and that's decreased my time and has performance better. So you don't need a video editor. You throw them in Opus Clip. They don't mess them up. They do them so well. It does a great back and forth. It really great for podcasters. Great for anyone that wants to shoot content. So that's one I
Yeah.
would say. And that Opus Clip is definitely using AI in some sort of automation way to make it a better process than, let's say, using Descript, where you still have to put to get the clip together. Yes, they clip them, but you have to organize it, put it into a certain design. Too much time. My issue this week has been setting up funnels. And
Mhm.
it's not been, I understand how to run funnels, but guess what? You give them this email, they decide to use their own email, or they start running before I even gave them, oh, I just connected the email. They just went. My social media team asked me, this sales team, they just start running. Oh, we sent 20 more emails out. I'm like, what the heck were you sending?
Right.
That's the problem. It's like, gibberish, the email. I mean, like, what did you just send? So that's the
Right.
frustration I've been having this week. How much time am I going to spend? And I want people out here listening. If you can figure out the process, if you can be a great project manager, or you tell me there's a great project management software using AI, please tell me it that can connect to everything. I'm hoping maybe Victor might be it, because the Victor can connect to 2,000 apps. So I'm hoping through Slack, he'll live through Slack if he can do it. That's my biggest bottleneck because I didn't know that these emails weren't going well. I go to
Mhm.
check them. How many hours a day am I going to have to manage AI? I feel for you if you have a job, guys. I don't. I own my own business. So I really don't care if I add an extra 2 hours my day if I can add my bottom line a lot more. Pat, your thought.
Absolutely. And I think that's a great point because if you think of Apex, as soon as you're talking about that, I know Apex isn't released yet. is you kind of putting those guardrails up within your email process to say, let me just review it first until they proved it. So they can prove that they're sending out the right things. I want to see what you're sending out. But yeah, that's a great thing. And yeah, you're right. I do have that extra paycheck coming in. Actually, I've got a few extra paychecks coming in, which is good. And then I can add all my fun AI stuff on top of it. I can add a writing of books on the top of it. There's so much stuff going on. I want to be just a sole source of revenue on my own without having to rely on another organization. But hey, they're paying me pretty
Is
well. I like it.
it's worth it till you
It's
figure it out. The
yeah,
biggest challenge is it's sales, it's relationships, it's customer service,
yes.
and a lot of software developers aren't very good. So if we're looking at high agency as a business owner, they're going to be great. And I don't finding them. You probably say are software developers and software engineers loyal people, Pat,
Mhm.
compared to other employees that you've worked in your career.
Yeah, yeah. They are loyal, and one of the reasons, although they could jump around a lot if they get into the certain niche, and they're willing to take that risk, they will jump ship. So that's if I had to look at a software developer, if you're not treating them well, they can easily run and go somewhere else and make more money.
Interesting. Okay. Just wanting to know those specifics. So that's what I'm working on next. Then I'm going to have to say my morning starts out with doing my brain training, working out, and then I'm going to probably manage AI for 2 hours. So that's going to set up a little bit more and then say I'm managing my team. Will that go down to 1 hour a day? Probably. But managing 100 employees for 1 hour a day, that's pretty darn good. Or my goal is
It is.
a thousand employees.
It's
That's what my
great.
goal is have 1,000 and then building other agents in the background. So there's just so much to do. So that's my updates. So I think, Pat, what you've done is you get into like so many different niches
Yep.
and in AI, what's his name needs to be woken up, right?
Rich.
Rich needs to be woken up. But do you have any other? You're not talking to Rich at the games then. He must be sad.
No, yeah, I'm sure. I'm looking forward to that conversation when I do talk to him. He'll be like, "Hey, where you been?" I I switched it off. It didn't switch it off. I set it to sleep because before that Mac Mini was running 24 hours a day. And then I got to the point where I'm like, why are they doing a health check in the middle of the night at 2 a.m.? I don't want that. Shut it down. So I said, go to sleep at 11, wake up at 6, give me my daily updates at 6:30 and 7:30, and I was off and running. And I got to the point where I had to restrict it to say, just give me the updates for the last 48 hours because he kept, telling me the same thing day after day after day. I'm like, I don't need to hear about that. Just tell me what's been going on in the last 48 hours. So, yeah, he's been great, but unfortunately, I just haven't. I did see, I think I put like $100 in, and after several days or whatever, went down to 60. I'm like, you know what? So I switched it. He does, once the monitor's off for an hour,
Mhm.
it goes to sleep. And so he goes to sleep now.
So one of my disciplines is I like sweets and I like to instead of spending money on maybe sometimes having the wrong indulgence, eating out or something else, I'm going to spend on AI. That's the thing I'm thinking about. Okay, am I going to order candy or am I going to want to use and purchase a Victor? Because this stuff just intrigues me. I had one
Yeah.
client today. I wanted to use learnmake.com. Maybe that's going to be easier make than NAN, which I thought was a developer's nightmare, not, unless you're a developer. I didn't take a training course, so I probably would have figured it out at one point, or maybe my automation was not that automation couldn't work. Right? That's the problem. You
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
try. I think you have to learn certain workflows that are simple before going to harder workflows. Right?
Yeah, right. And I've been working with workflows for so many years. Started back in the day with a product called Planet Press, where you just be able to drop a data file in or a trigger, and then you just set up the whole workflow to execute on whatever data you're pushing in. And that was in 2007. I worked on that one. But yeah, everything's a workflow, and that's the magic of just IT. It's a workflow. I work with contact center technology right now. That's all a workflow. So when you call into your local financial advisor, it's going to follow various steps based on your profile that you're calling in from. So that's a workflow. And if you look at the back end development for that and how the whole steps and process goes, it's a workflow. So when you see N8N, that's a workflow.
Yeah. So
And
what have you tried make.com?
I could do it. Sure. Why not?
Is make
I have not looked at it.
No, Make said it has a looks like it's a better pricing. I'll have to figure
Okay.
out the pricing model of Make, there's NAN, and there's Zapier. Zapier's kind of probably lost a lot of its luster from what it
Uh-huh.
used to be one of the because everything so automations and AI have kind of combined together into something pretty amazing. We always know about triggers. I worked for a company called Lensec, and I also, was involved in their marketing and some of their sales as an inside sales rep. And what I learned in those meetings, and a shout out to Jeff Kellico, I should be talking to next week to help him with his podcast, because he's no longer with Lensec, but he was my boss. One thing that Jeff taught me that I did not know because I had to learn how to demo software, the security camera software, is there were certain workflows. And that workflow would mean, okay, someone went into a security camera and it just passed through because it was a real person. It triggers an event, and then and the person receives an email when that happens so that they don't have to monitor the cameras all the time. That email was triggered, maybe you get a text message. Those are very easy workflows. The ones I'm making are a little more complex. That's why I forgot what I was going to ask Rich at the beginning of the podcast. Oh, I think it was about, I forget, something involving AI. I really don't know. But maybe, buying domains. Do you know this, Pat? And this is a shout out to marketers out there that I've never played this game. I'm just playing it because I have a brand. So if you're a marketer out there saying, why is this guy has no clue going in and going into the woods like this? Because I have a brand and I can get in touch with anybody, and people are interested in working with me because they like me. Now,
Mhm.
here's the thing. When you're talking domains, what are the best domain authorities for sending emails? Do you know that, Pat?
No, I don't. Because in reality, because I think if GoDaddy was one of the ones, but I get my domains through SiteGround. And once you're able to get the domains, because of course you want to try to get a .com. That's what people really know. But now you can kind of stand out a little bit and say .ai.
Is
So with
SiteGround cheaper domains than Namecheap?
they might be getting them from the same source.
I buy them
So,
from Namecheap for all my clients, but I'm thinking
okay.
a domain email. So what the first thing they say is they get this AI agent to set up a domain email and set up this process, like a gift card thing. That shout out to Eric Sue and Marketing School Podcast. This is where I learned this stuff, and I go into the woods. Eric said he hired a marketing company. They setup was 5 to 6 grand a month, and then they wanted 20%, and he's like, I'm out after that, or it was 10 grand a month. Basically, they would set up all these email flows, and that to ask for a scheduled call and give it like $100 Amazon gift card or something like that. And they were using that strategy to get sales. That's why I want to know domain authority. Is it going to be deliverable? How does that authority look? And that's what I wanted to ask Rich. So,
Okay.
like, for
Yeah.
example, my neilhaley.com, I'm doing it for a lot of my clients, but I can only send maybe 200 emails a day, and I only can connect a certain amount of LinkedIn's. I
Mhm.
need to be able to set up domain emails, and I don't know that answer. I'm sure AI can answer that for me, but that's something to look at. So, Pat, I just want a domain authority, not using an Outlook, using hopefully a Google,
Yeah.
not because Outlook's not as good, but as a domain, when you send an email out, they're more likely for it to be delivered and to look at it,
Oh, absolutely. So I think if you use like a G Suite through Google, you can add your domain
which
into
I have
Google.
already for neilhaley.com. And I'll probably get another one from Wix to get
There you
another
go.
Neil Haley. But I don't want to be using Neil Haley to promote all my clients.
Yep.
And so
Yep.
I'm sending out emails in 20 different domains of Neil at neilhaley.com. So that's where I'm trying to figure out, early email box. They warm it up. A lot of their leads that the company I work with my agents, they already have them the prepped. They know it's a verified email. They know it's a verified LinkedIn. So it's not going to bounce. So you're not going to get in trouble on the bounces.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. Oh, yeah. So now I just set up my organization inside of Make. Now I just got to make sure that I can use Buffer because Buffer, I want to try to use Buffer to get into posting social media clips.
Hostly.ai, $6 a month every month, and you can use as many accounts as you want.
Okay.
And
I will look at that
they're
one too.
building out automations. See, if you listen to Office Hours with Pat Riley, we decide just to record this, and that's what's funny, and we get clips out of it, and all we're doing is talking. So I've been talking a lot because I want your advice. It's like
Mhm.
I talked about that domain advice. You can look into that. But this the frustration of AI not working. I got it used to it in prompts, but now I'm getting they're not listening. They're not following directions. Why, Pat?
I know it is something where if they get into their own process, and I think if you add too much Gen AI without restricting it, putting those guardrails up, I gotta love the word guardrails, and just say this is the lane that you need to stay in. Because if you just let them go and say, yeah, I'll do whatever I want. Hey, that email looks good. I'll just send it off. No, you got to set those guardrails up, that process flow to say, you need to send the email off here so I can validate it or give me a nice little dashboard where I can review it before I release it.
And when you say the complexity that they're allowing people now, or for people that, are average everyday people to understand these workflows, they're really going in the woods with technology that none of them
Mhm.
ever gone to the woods for
Yeah.
and understand
Oh,
it
absolutely.
into the woods.
Yeah.
All right. So what
And
other
it
new,
is.
what is your goal next week? So next week, you'll be telling me some new news on AI because you were really on fire. If people have been listening
Oh, I
to
am.
the
I'm still
podcast.
I'm still there. I'm going to be utilizing it because that like I said, I got a podcast tomorrow morning. I'm recording for another author. Like I said, very interesting conversation we're going to have. I'm looking forward to that one because I already read his book, and that's what really has delayed me in the past couple days of doing anything else because I've been so embedded in his book at
Oh,
night instead of
interesting.
working on AI. And then, so what I'm going to do is I just recorded another podcast, so I'll clip that up. Once I get those two out and kind of scheduled, then I'm going to start working on. I've got another little side project. I'm going to have AI create the marketing plan for me and to create that little book. It's a little tiny book. I'll announce that later. Actually, I did.
I want to really see as a marketer, experienced 20 years, would I agree with that with AI on that? Because here's the
I'll share it
thing.
with you.
So give me an example. Rich is not as smart as Claude going into Claude or GGPT. Would you agree or disagree?
Well, no,
The
Rich
biggest
uses
Claude.
Claude.
Oh yeah, but Rich doesn't have the knowledge that I've trained in Claude and GPT about me and
Oh,
marketing.
sure,
So
sure,
that's what I'm
sure.
trying to say. So it'll be
Yeah.
interesting to look at. Oh, here's where I think AI is terrible. I think AI
Yeah.
is the best in ideation. Their strategy sucks.
Hmm.
What do you
Gotcha.
guys think? So you're using AI to set up your strategy. You're not very intelligent because computers cannot see what could really happen. They can't visualize the experience of seeing it really won't work. You could say, okay, they would be able to say you put someone on the poster at 6 foot, you'll get as many people to come as a 7 footer. That's not true, AI. So come on now. So the point I'm making is it doesn't it has difficulty to really look at human nature and decide what are your thoughts when you've been working with Rich or any AI?
Mhm. Yeah, any AI I come across, and I put my information into it, saying this is what I'm expecting out. When I get it back, I'll review it. If it doesn't look right, okay, I'll just say you have to make an adjustment here, change this, change that, and they'll do it. And it's of course it's important that they have to remember it. They might not remember it because the memory is not great. Because I can go from one session to another, and they're disconnected. So I don't like that about the agents in the different
Oh,
sessions. But
memory is something I think is a bottleneck because it costs too much.
yeah, exactly. Because that's what's happening is that you're building such a persona about what you wanted to do. Every time that you run it, it's got to go through that whole thing again. And it's just bogging down. Rich was bogging down. So I try to figure out, okay, how do I speed them up? I want to get them faster because I need to be able to get some throughput. But yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah, so we're going to
nuance
be
in this whole
testing
thing.
Victor next week and seeing what Victor can do. He's going to be my new toy next week. I've been using Claude Cowork
Yeah.
to pull leads at 4 and 5 in the morning every day, and it's done a very good job. And I had not even utilized them yet.
Yeah. Have you
So
tried my Whisper Flow yet?
not yet, and I don't
Oh,
even
you
have
got
time because I really can't be using. I don't really. I really am talk. I talk live all day, so it's a different story. Whisper flow. If I was going out when I do my yoga or I'm going for a walk with Chewy, I should be using it, but I haven't yet. So I'll have to
Yeah,
look
because you
at.
can communicate with your Claude cowork. You can communicate with
Yeah,
whatever
because I
tools
started
you
using
want.
Dispatch. It works. It's really good. So I have my phone. I can go on Dispatch and have them create agents and have conversations when I'm in the other room and don't have to go down to my desktop. And it
Yep.
runs.
Yeah.
Claude
This is
Dispatch
great.
is pretty good.
Yep.
See, I'll tell you
Yeah.
things that are pretty mainstream, but not little other secrets. But Claude Dispatch works.
Yeah.
It's
Uh,
just figuring out the time to carve out all those things to look at. I have all these leads and I'm not even using them yet.
yeah. Yeah. Have you tried Manus? I love Manus.
No, I've not tried Manus yet. I
Manus is
think
great.
co-work and Manus are like twins.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I just talked to my Manus agent through, um, what was it? Not teleprompter. Not teleprompter. How awful is that? Um, Telegram. I just communicate through him with Telegram. He's off and running. He gives me and he takes a little bit of time, but he's awesome. He'd be like, "Oh, I got about
So isn't that
5 to 8
funny? They've
minutes."
created sandboxes like Telegram, and as I talked about the other one,
WhatsApp.
well, no, not WhatsApp. I would not want to be using WhatsApp. I'm happy to be using Slack to see how that goes. That's gonna be an interesting experience. They're trying to do Teams, but it's not ready yet for Teams.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. Like I said, this office hours was a frustration week. Will we have a better week next week in AI? I hope so. There'll probably be some new stuff coming out. ChatGPT has come back. The product's getting better again. Uh, Claude again is winning the battle, but I have a feeling they're winning the battle. Will they win the war, or will Google win it?
Google's looking strong. I'm putting my money on Google.
Okay. All right. Underweightbooks.com. Purchase the book. Contact Pat. Appreciate it, Pat. We'll talk soon. That
Thank
was
you.
the Neil Haley Show, guys. Take care.